Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharurmardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Lord Krishna, the embodiment of bliss, who came to punish the wicked and establish Dharma. Let us pray to the Divine Supreme to lead us from unreal to real, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, the Yoga of Renunciation, verse number 12. Last time we discussed, we continue the discussion in this class also. Yuktaha karma palam tyaktva shantimapnoti naitiki ayuktaha kamakarena pare satto nibadyate. The yogi means one who is selfless, forsaking the fruit of action, attains peace, born of steadfastness. But the one who is not selfless and who is led by desire is attached to the fruit and therefore bound. So, this verse clearly indicates that the process towards liberation or towards bondage lies in everyone's effort. God has given most wonderful human body with intellect, mind, sense organs, Gyanendriyas, Karmendriyas, all that is required to play our part has been given to us by the Divine Lord, and that itself is the act of supreme grace. Getting human birth itself is an act of supreme grace. God gives us an opportunity through human birth. But then, as I said, He has given all the instruments for us, and we are expected to learn and act upon. The foolish part is we don't learn, we behave like naughty kids, and consequently we are binding ourselves. Though God is ever gracious to bestow His grace and give His vision, we are not ready for such vision. Once it so happened, Mathur Baba was pestering for Samadhi state because he saw Sri Ramakrishna frequently going into ecstatic state, and his face was full of bliss and most fantastic vision. He was so much moved by that sight. So he began to request Sri Ramakrishna, why can't I get Samadhi, experience of Samadhi? Please grant me. He was pestering him. finally Sri Ramakrishna, out of his grace again, though the person was not completely ready, still to give an experience, he made him get into Samadhi state. But then what happened? After some time, the man, Madhur Babu, who was in that Samadhi state, became restless. Samadhi state is a state where you get supreme peace. There is no question of restlessness there. But on the contrary, Madhur Babu is experiencing tremendous restlessness. He is shouting, "Master, take back this Samadhi. I have got family, I have got home, I have got this, I have got that. I have to attend upon those things. I can't manage." See, then Swamiji, Sri Ramakrishna, blessed him to come to the normal plane of consciousness. That shows if the mind is not freed from desires, if the mind is not practicing non-attachment, if a person is not trying to become selfless, he is bound to be in bondage. And he is himself the cause of bondage. God doesn't want miracle to happen. He doesn't want to use occult power, siddhi. By touching, he must get into a transcendental state. Why should he want to do that? The whole purpose of human life is lost in that sense. No, human life is meant for spiritual practice, meant for learning the lessons in life. So, how these lessons could be got? Only at the formative period. All the so-called education which you want to give to the children, that should be done in the formative period. Not when the child is grown up. It's too difficult. Too difficult. So, we have seen in ancient days, as soon as a child is of 9 or 10 years old, they will be sent to Gurukul to live in the association of the Guru. And after the completion of the education, he would come back home. Then the choice is given. That is, whether he can lead a household life or he can renounce everything and take to meditation. But he is well aware of the facts. What are the duties of the family life? And what are the duties of the renunciate? He is fully aware of the facts. Fully aware of the facts. And then he acts upon. Sri Ramakrishna says, family life is not shunned, it is not prohibited. But what Sri Ramakrishna is telling is, have a controlled family life, controlled. So, controlled family life is like fighting the battle inside the fort. The sannyasins play. Sannyasins fight is, it is fighting in the open field. Both have to fight. Please note that fact. Not that a person has renounced everything, he is free from fights. No. No. That's why it is said the spiritual path is like a razor's edge. Why? Because slightest deviation from the discipline will make the person slip to the bottom. Sri Shankaracharya gives the example. Suppose a ball from the height, if it is by chance, if you slip the hand, it falls. You can't catch, you can't even see the ball. You will see only when it has reached the bottom. And regarding this, in the previous class I have told how Saubhara Muni, a great rishi he was, very meditative. Saubhara his name. It comes in Vishnu Purana, and this story comes also in Bhagavad Purana. And it is a very famous story. I think this story was told to Sri Ramchandra in Dandakaranya. Well, how that smallest, probably a few seconds, he has seen the playing of the fishes under the water. That provoked him. Well, let me enjoy the family life. He went back. Years together he was meditating. Well advanced, very highly respected, revered. But then the desire was in the remotest corner of the mind. Finished. That caught fire. Why I am telling is razor's edge. Spiritual path is a razor's edge. What do you mean by that? You have to be careful and alert till you realize the goal. Once you realize the truth, then there is no worry at all. Game is over. The truth is open. You have touched the granny. You are freed from the game. That's how it is. So, value system. Now you see in the modern times why there is so much of crime. It's multiplying. Can you imagine? Multiplying in different ways. Horrible crime. Unbelievable. We would say some of the stories taken from Puranas, Swamiji, are they believable? Like that we ask. But I ask you the question. The things going on in modern times, if you read them, do you believe them? It comes to that point. To give one example, very recently, the news was flashed. It happened in America. What is the news? The mother could not tolerate the crying of the baby, 22 months old. Please note that fact. 22 months old baby crying. It might be crying for some, whatever it is. It is the foremost duty of the mother to be tolerant and to see how the cry could be stopped. Instead of that, she became angry. Probably she tried, she could not stop the crying of the baby. But she has forgotten the fact that baby is innocent, is helpless. Do you know how she became brutal? She beat the child brutally in a violent way, crushed her, all her ribs were broken, multiple injuries, admitted to hospital. I don't know what happened after the child was alive or dead, I don't know. What the point I'm telling is, another news. Can you believe this? But it has happened. Another story. It is not fiction, I'm telling you, it is a fact. What is that? One couple was seeing the TV. And one of their child, she was bothering them in between. Children, you know, they are always like that. They don't know that you are watching TV. And the mother became so angry because they were so concentrated in seeing the TV Probably they were seeing interesting movie there, probably. She became terribly annoyed. Do you know what she did? Unbelievable. She threw away the child out of the window. It has come in the news. Some of the news I kept in my computer, just to give examples. Threw away the child out of the window. The baby was crushed to death. Kuputro bhavati, kumata nabhavati, like the Shankaracharya has made a statement. But Shankaracharya should have to change that statement. Kali Yuga, it's a demonic age. Please note that. It will be going to much worse. Every day, most horrible news you are reading. Unbelievable. All this is happening because no education given properly. In every stage, people have neglected education. I mean the education in the sense, the value system. In the name of secular, they're totally rejecting the values of the religion. Probably they're senseless. No religion says you should be dogmatic, fanatic. No religion says that. But you tend to become dogmatic or fanatic. That's your fault. Why should we blame the religion for that? That's how it is. That's why Sri Ramakrishna came to teach us what exactly religion means. It is nothing but manifestation of your divine virtues. Already knew, everyone here is having that divine potency. Since we are not giving attention to that, it is a dormant state. That's all it is. So, it is very important that we should give value education, particularly our traditional, most sacred, life-saving scriptures. Life-saving scriptures we have, but people have become blind. They have got eyes. They are using the eyes for some sensual, dirty, temporal enjoyments. That means we are abusing all our faculties given to us in this human life. Who is responsible? Even if you blame God, you can't get away from the evil effect of abusing your life. So, be wise enough. Take immediate steps to practice spirituality according to your capacity. Following any path doesn't matter. You reach the divine God. That's the way. And Lord Krishna is so clear, and he tells us in very clear terms that who is bound, who is free. So, the fundamental virtue that we should develop in spiritual life is to become selfless. To become selfless. The more you try to become selfless, the more you understand how you are selfish. And you have become selfish not because in this one life you have become selfish like that. You have built up that selfishness through various lives unto this present life. You have to get rid of it. One has to get rid of it. Life is continuous. It never stops. Don't be under the illusion. Oh, I can't bear this. I'll commit suicide. People have that wrong notion of not bearing committing suicide, thinking that they'll be free. No. They become ghosts. Much more horrible state than the living beings here. Much more horrible state. Ghost. People keep on asking, Swami, do you believe ghosts? The existence of ghosts doesn't depend upon your belief. The spiritual masters have said, the scriptures have said, the holy people have said, they do exist. So, no way. Never abuse this most fantastic, most precious human life that we got. Not knowing whether we would be getting again human birth next life. We don't know. If you live a beastly life, you will be born as a beast in the next life. In Raja Yoga it is clearly said, as you sow, so you reap. The desires in the mind, they push you to take birth. You have no control. You are namesake master. Mind is your master now. You have to be slave of the mind. Mind kicks you hither and thither. But then, meaning is, if you don't learn now, it becomes more harder. If you postpone it, it becomes still harder. It becomes hardest. But then you have to try. No way. Please note that fact. No way. Everyone has to struggle for freedom. Not the so-called freedom which people use in modern times. This abuse of freedom. People are, in the name of freedom, giving all sorts of sex education to the youngsters. What kind of freedom it is? So, we are really responsible for all our sufferings. So we are the makers of our destiny. So Vivekananda has given a most excellent talk. You are the maker of your own destiny. Please read that speech. Fantastic. People don't read. People want quick result. No. The result depends upon your innate tendencies. How far your mind is purified, to that extent, it depends upon how far you go in spiritual path. But everyone, one day or other, has to take up spiritual path. No way otherwise. Otherwise, keep on suffering and suffering, suffering and suffering. Until and unless you learn to overcome suffering. Till then you keep on suffering endlessly. This life, next life, coming life, further life, etc., etc., etc. Goes on ad infinitum. So, all the direct disciples of Chidananda, gems they are, gems. Please read them. In this modern world, Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature is most authentic, effective dissemination of spiritual ideas. Please Seriously read every day. Read one book. Keep on reading. Acquire knowledge. It gives you strength of mind. It opens up your eyes properly. So Swami Brahmanandaji, I always go through all these direct disciples. How nicely they have expressed the ideas in a very simple way. Not in a complicated manner. Extremely simple way. But effectively. Swami Brahmanji says, if you wish to do good to the world, you must be perfectly selfless. Worldly people are such that often, if you do them good, they in turn will try to harm you. You have heard of the great soul Vidyasagar, Ishwarchandra Vidyasagar, very great soul. He lived for the good of the world. And those who were benefited by him were very ones who spoke ill of him and tried to harm him. If you learned that someone had spoken ill of him, Vidyasagar would say, have I done him any good that he does me this harm? That's the nature of the world. But the truth of the matter is, those who are good will do good by their very nature, and those who are wicked will do harm by their very nature. It is just like a thief in the prison. If he is released, again he will go and rob. Svabhavastu pravartate. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one goes according to one's own nature. If he has not refined the nature, he goes according to the nature. An example is given. Once a holy person was meditating on the bank of a river. Suddenly he saw a scorpion floating on the water. Just he happened to see. He took pity on the creature and with the palm of his hand he scooped it out of the water. But as he did so, what the scorpion did, it stung him. So he was bitten by the scorpion. The holy man suffered great pain. A few moments later, the scorpion again fell into the water. But the holy man again helped it out. Again the scorpion stung him. This happened a third time. There was a passerby who was watching this incident. He was amused. What is this happening? He became very curious to know. So he asked this holy man, Sir, why do you help the scorpion when it stings you again and again? The holy man replied smilingly, Look, it is the nature of the scorpion to sting. And it is my nature to help. The scorpion does not give up its nature. Why should I give up mine? That's the way it is. So this example is given by Swami Brahmanandaji in the book Spiritual Teachings, Eternal Companion. Please read that book. It's the most fantastic book. All the people, particularly those who have initiated, who have taken Chidananda's mantra, should read that book. In fact, when before my Janvi order in Bangalore, so I came in contact with Swami Chidananda, and by his grace, of course, I could join the mission. He himself called me. I never knew what is initiation, etc. He himself called me, come, I want to talk to you. So he had an interview with me. then he fixed the date. And he gave the initiation. Afterwards he said, look, read that book, Spiritual Teachings of Swami Brahmananda, Eternal Companion. Read that book. That's the first book Swami asked him to read. And it's really a fantastic book. After reading that book, you won't have any questions to ask. Well, this story is come in that book. Another Swami, Swami Chidananda, I told you already, there are gems, 16 gems. See, we have put them all on the wall. Probably after the prayer you can see, nicely framed and put. We do their birthdays, we take the photos and decorate and offer worship. They are all gems of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Chidananda, personification of humbleness, personification of toleration. During his last days, he suffered like anything. Asthma, strokes, 2-3 times strokes, unbearable suffering. Still, he was bearing calmly, quietly. Everything is the will of God. Every moment he would be thinking of Sri Ramakrishna, even through suffering. That's the meaning of Sri Krishna's message. Sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara. Of course, when you are happy also, you don't remember what to speak when you are suffering. Probably once or twice you may remember, afterwards you forget. You remember more about your suffering than the name of God. Anyway, Swami Chidananda said, every man should do something good. That is, some selfless deed. That's the meaning of your volunteer service. In fact, we don't have to tell that at all. Without our asking, you should offer yourself. Swamiji, I will do some kind of service here. That's the way it should be. But of course, Kali Yuga, everything is reverse. You have to tell, even then they think twice. And even then they may come once, afterwards absent, irregularly, regular. Somehow, volunteer. What type of volunteer? Are you doing willingly with the idea of self-improvement? With the idea of unfolding your spiritual virtues? That's important. All by nature, Swami Chidananda says, work to support themselves and their families. Nothing to wonder about that. Nothing extraordinary about that. It's quite natural. But something good, I mean activity done without any attachment. If you can help a poor man by giving him food, or educate a needy person by providing his board and lodging according to your means, that will be sufficient. In fact, in our olden times, not very old, in my lifetime I should say, when I was a young boy, I used to see 3-4 boys coming to our home. And they would fix the date. One boy would be coming Monday. Some boys would be coming on Wednesday. Some boys coming on Friday. They fixed the date. They are poor boys. and we would give food, or our mother would give food to them. First time I realized the children are coming like that to take food. Even our father also, when during his education, he was studying under the lamp in the street lamp. Under the street lamp he studied and passed his engineering examination. He became engineer afterwards. So, and afterwards they told me, parents told me, look, they are poor boys, they don't have anything to eat. Whatever little we have, let us give. And you must know, in Bangalore we have got Sri Ramakrishna Math for students. We have got separately poor boys section also. And we interview and take the poor boys because the limited seats, about 20 seats, 500 applications will come, 500. I am not exaggerating, literally true. You select only 40. But after selecting, there will be one with other people, other boys also who are paying students. And you would not tell the paying students, these are poor boys. You won't tell them. Because they should not develop any complex mind, oh, he's poor boy. Like that. Nobody knows except the authorities. And after they will become very high professionals in life. In fact, I keep on telling one incident. Now the time has come, I will tell you that incident now also. You know, the repetition doesn't matter. There is one devotee from Nagpur. He got his education completely free, staying in the ashram at Nagpur. Afterwards he became very reputed engineer. He came to America, he settled down here. And do you know what he's doing now? After his retirement, he has taken a job. Every year, I came in 1992. Since 1992 up to this year, I am seeing every year $1,000 to be given to Ramakrishna Math Nagpur for students. Every year he is given 25,000. He earns and gives. He is earning only for this purpose. He said that someday I am retired. I don't need to earn, but I am earning this because I am grateful. I am in this state because of the Ramakrishna mission. I must do something. Of course, he gives some donation to ashram also here. But the point is, I was overwhelmed by hearing that. I was overwhelmed. Really. My heart melted down by hearing that. How many people do really feel that way? Once they got, they go away. Should you not feel that you should do something in return? And that's the test of your life. So, by something good, Swami Chidananda says, I mean activity done without any attachment. If you can help a poor man by giving him food or educate a needy boy by providing his board and lodging according to your needs, that will be sufficient. In cases that are beyond your means, you can engage in such good deeds in cooperation with friends of yours. Many activities of this nature you will find close at hand. If you wish to do them, you can easily do so. One more Swamiji's teaching I will tell you, and then I conclude my talk. Swami Premanandaji, another jewel, he said, Can a person become a great devotee of God simply by dancing and jumping? Or by quoting plentifully from the scriptures? What is wanted is freedom from selfishness. Freedom from egotism. The present age is in need of selfless heroes. He calls them heroes, selfless heroes in the field of service. Mere talk will not do. This is an age of action. And one must prove all this in practice. Swami Chidananda said, practice of medicine, selflessly done, leads to salvation. Swami Chidananda said that. People have only a superficial idea of the meaning of selfless action, not a clear grasp. For if they are once convinced, how can they ever resist practicing it? Only the self-deluded talk glibly of having understood it. Complete surrender to truth is an indispensable condition of selfless action. Referring to the book Vaigyanika Jagat by Ramendra Sundar Trivedi, the author has tried to show that everything is growing according to the law of the survival of the fittest. Yes, this theory holds good in the lower stages, from amoeba to man. For up to this, self-interest is the principal thing. But after the human stage is reached, no longer is the theory true. Now the goal is to reach God. And the more one can forget his self, the nearer he approaches God. Swami Ramakrishna Math said, true devotion is selfless. We shall stop at this. We shall continue the same verse in the next Tuesday also. It's a very important verse. We should know every bit of what we are doing. We should know what we are thinking. Everything is valuable. Don't do it unconsciously or absent-mindedly or carelessly. No. All these things, all this carelessness, etc., instead of helping you, they destroy your good nature. So never give room to forgetfulness, carelessness, lethargy, all such negative forces. Beware of them and take steps. Don't worry about the past. Past is gone. Future we don't know. Present is in our hands. Act properly in the present. That's all that you should do. Practice as much as you can and surrender to God. Surrender to your deity whom you are worshipping, whom you are meditating upon. Whomsoever you are meditating same Lord, Divine Supreme. Don't have any doubts about it. Whether you worship Shiva, whether you worship Kali, whether you worship Holy Mother, whether you worship Sri Ramakrishna, they are one and the same. Mother herself has said, there is no difference between me and Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna also has said, there is no difference between me and Holy Mother. So what else you want? Even then we don't believe. Keep on doubting. Samshayatma vinashyati. The person who keeps on doubting endlessly, he ruins himself. Doubts have got certain value up to a certain point. Don't stretch it too much. Stretching too much is bad. Well, we just need to practice these things. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharunamardana Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Let us offer a salutation to Lord Krishna, the embodiment of bliss, who came to establish dharma and punish the wicked. Let us surrender ourselves to him and pray to him for his precious grace so that we can live spiritual path properly. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. How to be spiritual? How to be spiritual? So theory and practice must go together. Without knowing theory, how to practice it? So theory is useful to the extent you practice it, not simply theorizing. Precept and practice should go together. That is Sri Ramakrishna's way of teaching. Precept and practice should go together. Well, we should talk much about it. In fact, Vivekananda joined as a brahmachari in Bangalore when I was there. So I know him very well. So he will be conducting retreat in Ganges. Never miss these retreats. Make it a point. Attend these retreats. They will help you tremendously. And we have got another special event, most special event coming up on July 26th, that is Sunday. We are celebrating Sri Ramakrishna Homa. It starts morning at 10 o'clock. We invite all of you to sponsor these programs. And please try to attend. Even if you are not able to attend, you can sponsor for this program.